Hi, friends. I wanted to talk to you today about the different kinds of birds' nests that you can see throughout the world. The most common type of a bird nest is called a cup nest. And this is a picture of a cup nest. These are nests that are usually made of grass and spider webs and mud. And the birds usually make them in the fork of a tree, but they can be in other places as well. The birds collect up the materials that they want to use and they fly to the nesting site and they apply it to the nest. They make a deep depression in the middle to keep the eggs in. And the material is the materials that they use are stuck together with mud and spider webs. So this is called a cup nest. And some of the birds that build a cup nest are finches and hummingbirds and robins. So a cup nest. Another kind of nest is called a mound. A mound. This is the type of a mound nest. And these are built by birds using their feet. And they collect up leaves and grass and soil and pile it up over their eggs. And as the material decomposes, it keeps the eggs warm with the heat it generates. And the height of the mound protects the eggs from water that could flood the nest. So some types of birds that build a mound nest are pelicans and swans. So a mound nest. Let's see what other kind. This is called a cavity. A cavity. And birds make holes in the trees to lay their eggs in. And they make an opening with their strong beaks or chew the soft wood to make the cavity. And most birds aren't able to make these cavities themselves and will often use holes that are made by other birds or natural cavities. And some of the types of birds that build a cavity nest are woodpeckers and parrots. So cavity. What's another type we talked about this one kind of the other day. And that is an aquatic nest. Can you see that? An aquatic nest. And that an aquatic nest are when the birds build their nest in the water. And these nests either float on the surface of the water or they build a foundation using rocks, vegetation, and sticks that only reach to the water level. And these nests can also be anchored in shallow water. So this is an aquatic nest. And some types of birds that build an aquatic nest are terns. Terns. Some birds will build a burrow nest. A burrow. And actually, this kind of looks like it might be a cavity, but actually a burrow will go into the ground or into a cliff, and they are able to build this kind of nest by they use their feet and their beaks, and they create a chamber at the end of the burrow. And burrow nests will vary in size depending on the type of bird that has built it. One type of bird that builds a burrowing nest is an owl. Owls. Let's see what other kind of nests we have. I found this one interesting. Let's see. This is called a scrape nest. A scrape is a hollow that the bird has scratched into the soil or the vegetation, which is the plants that are around. And they are usually shallow, and they're only deep enough to stop the eggs from rolling out. Some species line them with feathers, grass, or shells, while others leave them empty. Some birds will simply roll about in the soft soil or vegetation to create the hollow. So this is called a scrape. A scrape. Some birds that might build a scrape, or that do build a scrape nest, are seagulls and penguins. Let's see what other kind we have. This one is called a pendant. Can you see that? A pendant. And this is a type of nest that's woven from plants such as grasses, and they're suspended from the tree branches. And these nests resemble hanging bags and can be cup nest or an enclosed bag with an entrance hole. A type of bird that might build, or that does build, a pendant is an oriole. Let's see. This one is called an adherent. Adherent. And this is a nest that is made from mud, and it sticks to the walls and cliffs and stone ledges. And they can be in a variety of shapes, including a hemisphere, a cone, or a globe. The birds build the nest from mud and the dirt that they collect, and then they let it dry before they add another layer to it. Some birds add saliva to stick the materials together. And some adherent nest builders are phoebes, swallows, and swifts. And the last type of nest that I have to share with you today is called a platform. And this is one of my favorites. Look at that. In that big, a platform nest is a large structure that is sometimes partially man-made. These nests are often many times the size of the bird, which it's usually a large bird that has built it, and they build huge nests. These can look huge. The nests are built mostly by raptors, and that a bird that is a raptor is one that eats prey. And they're usually built at the top of trees or sometimes in shallow water. Some platform nest builders are hawks and herons and osprey. I was down in South Carolina a couple of summers ago, and I saw a platform nest like this, and it was made by an eagle, and it was so cool. So the different kinds of nests that you might see are platforms, scrapes, adherent, a pendant, a burrow, an aquatic, a cavity, a mound, and a cup nest. So those are the different kinds of nests that birds build. So thanks so much for watching today. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.